Montana County demands people wear government-issued armbands to do business. Yesterday's news, and what might be the most over-the-top and draconian responses to the coronavirus, Montana's Valley County is mandating that people wear government-issued pink. Why pink? Why pink? Armbands and under to purchase products inside of stores. Enforced by the Valley County Health Department. Now, there's another thing to really understand is the health departments of every county are being empowered to run the sheriffs, to run the county. It's the health departments that are running the show now. The state, the federal makes the laws. The state can make them worse. The counties can make them even worse. They can't undo federal laws and state laws, but the counties can make it even more. So they insist that store owners keep customers out unless they have pink armbands, which denote the customer has been in the area for more than 14 days and submitted to quarantine protocol. How would they know they've been in the state for 14 days? So they have to probably start tracking you to make sure that they know. So here's the authorization. Here's the health officer order. I showed you the other day in Mendocino County here, the ordinance, 27 pages. Oh, maybe we're going to start getting these little tattoo things on our arms to mandate that we've been in there. You know, it can go anywhere, folks. There is no limits to what they can do now because they got everyone on their heels. And then we have the crackdowns going on, you know, absurd crackdowns going on around the world. They've got Daleks, don't know what those are, drones, high-tech cops, robots come out of top amid coronavirus pandemic. We got helicopter parenting, folks. Helicopter parenting, where they're using the military, they're using the resources, and they're going and clearing out people just trying to exercise in a yard with a helicopter and spraying them with sand in their eyes so they can't even play a game of soccer and have a little fun. This is a worldwide lockdown, worldwide event going on, beyond the theater of the absurd. Then we have holiday patrols here. The UK is dead near unanimous disgust. British police threaten to appear from shadows to bust rural picnics. Can't even have a picnic going on there, folks, because if you do, we're going to send a helicopter after you to make sure that that picnic is not deemed essential, and you have to stay home, because if you're not staying home, you're not saving lives. That's the whole thing. You got to stay home. And then this one here, you got to walk against the traffic. This is a Boston suburb of Beverly in Massachusetts. One-way sidewalks to practice social distance. We got to practice it. Police will hand out $100 fines to anyone who walks in the wrong direction. All about mass control and obedience. And then this one here, this is in Manchester, England. Guys just simply delivering food. They arrested the man for delivering food to his mom during a lockdown. And look at this gerbil cop here, whatever he is. And by the end of it, they got the guy in a headlock, or not a headlock, they got him arrested. And they're taking him away. And all he was trying to do was deliver food to his mother. I mean, he's not doing anything but trying to be a good Samaritan, help his mom. And he's obeying him. And off to jail he goes. Look at that cop car, folks. Your police dollars hard at work. Pay your taxes today. Support your government. They know what they're doing, right? And then we have down here, people's cars attempted to attend church. Notice you're in violation. It's beyond the absurd. So if we stand in line for stores, physical distancing is okay, but if we're standing out in the middle of a field and we're in nature, not okay. Standing in line in a store, okay, but going fishing with our son to try and get some food, not okay. You know, standing in line in stores, oh, you're too close if you're in a big lumber yard, you can't do essential, work and can't go to the parks. Everything's deemed illegal. I mean, where does it stop? We're only a month and a half into this. Then we have this going on, Operation Gridlock in Lansing, Michigan, to protest, and some conservative group put on this gridlock. What are they thinking, folks? I mean, are you serious? You're going to park your car so nobody can get through and nobody can get by, And so what is going to be the reaction? How are the public health services, the ambulances and police cars going to be able to get through? What's the point? You have to sit in your cars and you don't get identified and you just sit there and create a gridlock. And what are they going to do? They're going to have to lock you down and not let you drive your cars. Just like they're saying, because the skies are now blue because they haven't been geoengineering, the climate is getting better, so now we're not going to be able to drive. This is a planned, staged, honeypot, beehive, controlled opposition event. I mean, this is absolutely insane to think that this kind of protest is going to have any type of reaction, shut you down and not let you get in your cars now. That's the only thing they can do is by getting you're trying to gridlock. Go and stand in front of the Capitol, and what are you demanding? Oh, we're demanding the government let us back in the business, which you're authorizing and giving credit to the frickin' government that did the take away your rights in the first place. Oh, just let us go out. Just let us go to our football games. Just let us be back to normal, please. We'll sit in our cars in a gridlock and organize it as our protest. And that's all the people can think to do? I mean, folks, you got to wake up. I've said this many, many, many times. There has never been a successful protest. How about the North Dakota pipelines? 10 to 12 years in jail for all those folks they did. How about the anti-war protests, huh? How about the Million Man March? What did they accomplish? A little good faith, a little good times, a little, hey, yeah, we're moving the sticks. And where are we now? What's been the end result? A total and complete takeaway of our freedoms. The only thing we're occupying the Occupy movement is the streets with our face down. This will not work in the same ways it's worked before. And because people can't get creative, they can't think outside the box they put themselves in with the self-quarantining laws, they can't be the change that has to happen. What has to happen is we have to get back to the gardens. We have to declare land sacred to grow food. We have to declare rights that our children are free to run and play in parks. Then we're going to start something. When we start saying and start occupying nature, and we do it in numbers. And like Martin Luther King did, he overcrowded the jail so they simply couldn't hold them all. But we're not at that point yet. I mean, the first ones up are going to be fodder to be swatted. And I guess Ohio is trying something, and Texas is trying something, and they're going to the courthouses, they're supporting the legal system by saying, hey, you guys are the ones that can make it all better for us. It's us that are going to make it better, not the system that needs to be taken down. And they're starting to tease everyone with reopening America. Let's reopen, back to business, yada, yada. When the American economy reopens, it will be inside of a vast permanent network of digital surveillance. Remember they passed that $2 trillion bill? Well, they had a huge chunk that was for surveillance, and we're starting to see the first initial thrust of what they're planning on. And again, this is the CDC talking. It's not the police or the president of the corporation, USA Inc. This is the CDC says contract tracing is for every person who's positive, the CD says. On average, there are probably 5 close contacts with their interacted. So they find someone positive, they find 5 close contacts, and guess what? You're going to be one of them. You're going to have this ID. They will be preparing for the reopening with multi-pronged public health infrastructure approach, including surveillance, expanded testing, and contact tracing. Some of these people will need to be tested and then isolated. Where? They're going to put them on ships, on the Mercy ships like they're putting the elderly, even the healthy ones. Or the pot risk, we need to keep them chilled away until we determine if they've been infected or haven't been infected, and we can go back. So they can put them on ice. That's the idea of contact tracing. All the new memes they're giving to us. They stopped printing gold and silver coins, because they have social distancing on that. That's going to put a squeeze on supplies. You probably see gold and silver rally from here. Again, we have the empty hospital beds everywhere, all around the world. Nobody's in the beds. Here's a theater of the absurdity, idiocracy for you. San Francisco restaurant, which is supposed to be closed, I guess, but they're closing because customers refuse to wear their masks. Let me think. I got a mask on and I'm trying to eat. So I have to take off my mask. So I'm refusing to use the mask because I have to eat. I mean, again, this is just beyond the pale. We have a lot of doctors speaking out, Nor. Hey, for all you sports fans, you bred in circuses that got distracted while they took away all our rights. Mayor says you ain't going back to sports to 2021. No more bread and circuses for you. No more chilling out. But speaking of chilling out, check out this video.
And then finally, we'll be moving towards this mass vaccination campaign and continuing to follow. And I want you to know that CDPH is already deep in the planning stages around vaccination. We've already bought the syringes. We already know where it's going to happen. We're thinking about what that's going to be. It's all part of this plan.
It's all part of this plan. The Truman Show. We're in Truman Show. All part of this plan. And the lady that's sign languaging to the deaf, I've never seen someone pantomime that ridiculous before. Again, we got the threefold deception, the birth certificates. I mean, we got to stop talking about legalese. We got to stop talking about it's the law. They're not going by the laws anymore, folks. So why should we? You know, you shouldn't be doing laws that are not just laws. And since they've taken away our rights, they don't allow us the freedom to assemble. And freedom of speech is going away shortly. This is what their laws do, is put us in legal entrapment. It's a privilege to drive on the roads. And this is all part of getting their one world government. There is no USA. It doesn't matter. It's a corporation. It's part of the trilateral of a world government. It's been that way for a very long time. They run the religion. I mean, they run the power for the military. The City of London's the bankers and the Vatican's the one world religion. It's been set up a long time. So we talk about Trump and Obama and all this. You're wasting your breath. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy. But that's what they want you to do, is focus on the minutia, the irrelevant. Meanwhile, they take away your parents, your children. It's coming very soon. And now they got the universal pay where you're going to be just under universal income. The Vatican just said it's a great idea for the world. Universal income, a digital currency. And they're saying they're going to give you $2,000 a month. Where's the money coming from, folks? They're going to give you the money. And then when you don't obey to get vaccinated, when you don't obey to get your biometric ID and get chipped, or get some of that spray gel crap that Celeste Salam was talking about, that's basically transhumanist agenda in the vaccines, and you're getting $2,000 a month from the government, what are you going to do? It's a trap. It's all a trap. Where's the money coming from? Supposedly you used to get, when I used to work on Wall Street, there's a thing called revenue. You would create something, you'd sell something, you'd get revenue in, you'd go offset it against expenses, and then you would have what's called net income. There's no such thing as net income in the government. All they do is, they make Helicopter Ben proud. It's just print. So when it collapses, we can be like these bunch of turkeys. They're going to be killed. And now we have the avian influenza outbreak, which we're going to get into, about how they're going to ban pets and animals. If you notice the civets and the beginnings of the Wuhan, China, with the bats and the civets and the pangolin. Those are all transmitted diseases. It's called zoonosis. And the zoonosis is transmitted by animals. So now the animals are going to transmit diseases just like your pets. So you're not going to be able to live in the country with chickens and pigs and be a rancher. You're not going to have pets because they can transmit disease. And again, they're putting healthy elderly on ships. Marin County to extend the coronavirus stay-at-home order. They should just make it permanent because that's what it is. But eventually they're going to ease the restrictions and they're going to let you up, but they're going to have massive testing, long waits. You're going to have to be obedient. And let's not forget, folks, the smoking gun evidence that flu vaccines causes the coronavirus, that the NIH, National Institute of Health, said 80% of the tests are false positive. 80%. And then we're going to see the schools. They're talking about reopening the schools now. They're going to have staggered start times, class sizes cut in half, social distancing in the hallways and cafeteria. Kids can't play to each other. How's that going to happen? There are a few of the possible scenarios, the timeline for reopening. We need to get our kids back to school, Newsom says. Hey, he's really for the kids. Biggest challenge will be to face is how to continue physical distancing among children and adults to ensure that kids are going to school, getting going to school, getting infected, and then getting grandma and grandpa infected. So that's what you need to focus on right here, okay? So I did a piece about my mom who's in a senior center and how they've had 6 cases of COVID virus that they didn't announce, alleged virus. They didn't tell the parents about, they didn't warn the children about it. And now they're taking healthy and putting them on these Mercy ships on the coast, the ones that are healthy, to get them out of the place. So check out this scenario. So we know they're putting 5G in all the schools now, where all the schools are out for right now. So what if they let the kids go back to school? So let's say one of the kids or one of the teachers gets the alleged COVID virus. So now, what are they going to do? They're not going to let your kids go home back to your families because they'll get them all infected because one has it. So they're going to take your children away and put them on ships as well. Are you understanding what the hell I'm saying? You put your kids back in school. They get one kid that gets infected. They will not let any of the children go back to their homes, and you'll never see your children again. Am I clear? Is it time to rise up? But do it smartly. Get out and make gardens. Show you're not going to give in to resistance. Do what you have to do. I have thoughts every day now of my mom being put on this ship, and my family members are just comatose. They're just beyond the pale of ignorance, and they won't even begin. And here we are with the cleaner air, and they're saying, oh, India and everywhere's got cleaner air because of social distancing, because nobody's driving cars. And then these idiots in Flint, Michigan are driving around in their cars protesting. So what do? They take away your right to travel. They already have done that. You can't, they made passports now illegal unless you're emergency. I filed for my passport about 6 weeks ago. I ain't getting my passport because it's for emergencies only. We're not going anywhere. They're never letting the shutdown end. Here in this is Sonoma State University here in Santa Rosa. They're converting it to military operations. First food banks, and now the schools. What if California faces another disaster during the pandemic? So let's say we get torched out with the directed energy weapons and everybody has to flee because the power's out and they can't stand around with each other. Come right this way to the Rex 84 FEMA camps. Come right this way to the military state. Come right this way to the boats. And off you go. Off you go. Remember, it was Cheney who started the whole program. It was Kellogg, Brown, and Root, KBR, who Cheney owned when they was at Halliburton, who built all those FEMA RX-84 camps. There's so many things they can do, folks. So many things they can do right now. New York City officials now counting deaths of those who've never tested positive that are coronavirus. No matter if they tested or not, they're calling it the coronavirus. The CDC sends out a bulletin to all hospitals telling them the new way to fill out death certificates is to a person who possibly died, but not the main cause. So everybody dies of the COVID-19, and they pad the numbers. Again, Newsom's bringing out his Orwellian prospects of mass gatherings with negligible at best, and he says tens of thousands of strangers are not in the cards, even in the summer months of June, July, August. Newsom declared a state of emergency March 4th. So since March 19th, we're less than a month. Look at all they've been able to accomplish. And now they're doing stimulus checks, but Trump has to sign them first. You sign that check and you get your $1,200 and you're on the machine. You're agreeing to be part of the corporation. And then you try and just run on the beach to get a little exercise because you're going to infect somebody. And what does the cop have to do with all his free time when all this is going on? Tries to chase the guy down. Tries. I think this is in Brazil somewhere. The guy just cranks it up, dude. You're not going to catch with me. But see, a lot of countries the cops don't carry guns. In this country, they do. So it comes down to shootouts. Newsom named 6 goals that must be left. They're just following the script. And please watch this video I put out. These are the movies, The Predictive Programming, Revolution, America, EMP 233. All the same type of plots. All what happens after the power goes off. All divided up into FEMA camp regions. All predictive programming going back to 1987. Power's likely going out. You need to prepare, folks. Here you can see the movies here. The FEMA's 10 districts. And here you see these movies. Check out this 14.5 series, America, with Chris Christopherson and Robert Ulrich. You can watch that on YouTube. Here we have cryptocurrency systems using body activity. You know, the crypto's coming. You're only going to have banking. And I guess that my friend was telling me the ATMs where there used to be $300 withdrawals are allowing you $900 withdrawals now. Oh, but you can wear a mask into a bank. I mean, it's just beyond the pale. It's every day it gets harder to believe this is happening, but they are moving at such pace. Fauci tells all states it's time to issue extremely strict stay-at-home orders. Who's this guy? National Institute of Health of the Bill Gates Foundation. All on the same team. Why would you want to support them? Why do you want to go protest against them? Why would you go to the courthouse of which they operate and run? What does that do? Again, mandatory universal vaccines, lockdowns. The Nova virus is coming back. This is just the original post I did back in January when it all began in Wuhan, China. Again, New Jersey hospitals consider do not resuscitate orders for coronavirus patients to protect doctors. Oh, we so care about the doctors and nurses. Another article comes in down here and says, oh, the coronavirus is coming through your shoes. So what are they going to do? Not allow you to walk? Is everybody like the airport? Remember the shoe bomber when you had to take off your shoes now at the airport? So now I'll get to that in a minute. So smiling, happy people. There's some smiling, happy people in it all. And Bill Gates, and this is the director of some health organization. I forget who he is. There's Fauci. All on the same team. We're in power shutdowns. They're starting to shut down the powers again, folks. Shutting down your power. What are you going to do? You're staying at home. And here's the Pope declaring a universal basic wage. Now it's time. Pope Francis, the first Jesuit Pope in 600 years. Again, Celeste Salam, please watch her stuff. She's just bringing it, folks. She's bringing the truth. She's bringing it hard. She's bringing it well. Berlin, Germany, trying to resist, saying, hey, we're going to socialize. They're just waiting. And as Celeste says, they'll wait and see how it goes, and then they'll just crack down. They just want, just like the Occupy movement, to get everybody's names, find out who's the first responders that step up and say, we're not going to follow the crowd. Here's a nightclub that was trying to open from 2 to 6 in the morning. Shut them down, and what does Newsom say? We're going to have to get more, harder, tougher, and shelter places because you're not obeying us. Give me a hug, folks. Just hug people. Just walk up and say, can I have a hug? It'll freak them out, but break the spell. They're all under a spell that's been cast. Break the spell. Love them anyway. Smile at them. Hey, nice no mask. They're making masks in Sonoma County now mandatory. They just made New York City mandatory to wear masks. And you're never going to be able to take them off. What do masks have? Cotton. They're made with slave labor and people in India and China. Who knows what the quality is? And you're breathing the boll weevil cotton, which makes your respiratory illness sick. It's hard to breathe through them. Problem, reaction, solution. Watch this on Mark Passio, getting about order followers. What a bunch of sheeple they are. The choice used to be ours, but they're tearing us apart. They don't want us to stand so close to each other. F them, folks. We got to take the order out of their chaos. We got to create the solutions, but it's going to happen on a community basis. It's going to happen on a localized basis where we all get together and grow some food together. That's how we end this. Then we share it with those who are hungry. We get our own currencies. That's what they're afraid of. Whenever they start world wars, one of the first things they do is they bomb the farms. So you don't have currency. You don't have food. Got to get back to the gardens. And again, they're having the rolling waves. This is going to happen on and on and on again. Remember, not sports till 2021? They're predicting these waves are going to keep coming. Here's a chart of it. This is from the MIT Post. And this chart is showing the waves are going to keep coming as the food banks get longer and longer. We were at Costco yesterday, and the produce was minimal. Farmers aren't being allowed into the fields. The crops are getting short. Here's that thing about we're not going back to normal from the MIT Gates program. Here's some protesters in Ohio State House saying, oh, yeah, we're Americans, American flag, and yeah. Right. But they won't even let you buy American flags in the non-essential sections, you know. It's beyond the pale, but you can't play in the system which is trying to own your ass and control everything and then hold a sign and think that's going to do something. But that's what we've been told to do. But there's never been a successful protest, and we're looking like a bunch of jokers, folks. We're looking like a bunch of idiots. It's going to take some time to get all this. It's going to take some time to get our game plan up. But in the meantime, get back to the gardens. Get some seeds from your friends. Learn some techniques in seed saving. Get some canning jars already. So get some canning jars because you're going to need to can for over winter. Again, there's no hospitals anywhere as the food lines grow and the sheep will sheep. COVID, what does it stand for? Certificate of Vaccination Identification. They love their little anagrams and their little names while the farmers are going out of business. This guy has more milk than he knows what to do with in California, and the milks are shortages they're only allowed two half gallons, I guess, in the stores. Yet he has more milk at springtime. The cows are bursting with milk. You can't turn off the valves and have the cows stop doing milk. He has to dump it. They're all going out of business. Bay Area school closures extended through the year. What does that mean for your family? You start drinking. What do they put in Costco when you walk in? Drinks. Again, Sonoma County residents ordered to wear masks. So everybody's ordered to wear a mask. So here's one for you folks you can do is they're not saying what the masks are. You can make them any size. So put a jock strap over your head or I was going to get a little tiny one if I'm forced to do it. I'm not going to try to, but if I have to, make it really small and just cover a little bit of your nostrils and maybe a little part of your lips. And all it says is that's cover your face. There's no laws I've seen yet that say what definition of face is. People are wearing scarves. They're wearing bandanas. So you can make it anything. Be creative. Put some messages on there and say no fear. We got to break the spell of what's going on here. And here in Ukiah, they're digging up the streets, putting in more dark fiber. Business as usual. Largest study finds obesity the single biggest factor in New York City's hospitalization. This goes into the documentation that you should look at the World Economic Council Strategic Intelligence document that Celeste Salam has gone over extensively, saying obesity is one of the greatest problems. And here they're setting the table. We're going to get rid of the obesity, putting you on these diets, these protein insect diets of 1.2 ounces. As the packing companies, one of the largest ones is closing in South Dakota. Again, folks, you got to get back to the garden. They're playing with us with this sick spirit cooking and Bill Gates Association. And people are not going to win when you just go and stand up and say, I'm protesting, I'm standing out here. We're going to have to get our own economies going. As they bring in the digital system, we bring back the food system. We bring back our neighbor system. We get our own neighborhood watches going again. We stop this in fear going right away. There is no virus. It can't be contaminated from one person to another. It's all a lie. So don't give in to the lie. Some of my dearest friends even surprised me by giving into it. Take control of your future. Grow your own food. Preserve your own food. Trade and barter. Cook from scratch. Save your own seeds. Become self-sufficient. And love one another. The children are going to be taking it on the chin through this all. We have to get strong for our children. If not us, then who? But don't look for going to the government courthouses to protest because you think you're joining a group that's going to make a difference. It never has. It never will. We have to create our own currencies, and that comes through growing our own food. End of story. Springtime. Back to the gardens we go. All right. Thanks for listening to my rant. Kind of had to get some things off my chest today. I appreciate you listening.